our national anthem as we get set for the Kings and the Capitals. The officials for the game today, the referee will be veteran Kerry Frazier and the linesman Pat DiPuzzo along with Brian Murphy. The Washington Capitals will defend to our left with 10-year veteran Don Beaupre in nets, a record of 15-11-3, a shutout, and an excellent average of 2.91. First full season in a Capital uniform for Don Beaupre. For the Kings, who defend to our right, will be veteran Kelly Hrudey in his 7th year. Like Beaupre, 15 wins. He's got 10 losses and 3 ties, a couple of shutouts, and an average of 3.99. Face-off at center ice, and here to begin his third decade of hockey broadcasting excellence for the Kings, the 90s, and Bob Miller.
All right, Nick, thank you very much. Sounds like a long time, doesn't
it? It is.
Capitals with it into the Kings zone. Kypreos tried to come down the middle, poke checked away, and the Kings come back up to center. Here is a pass on the left wing to John Tonelli. Tonelli across the line, drops it to Todd Ellick. Ellick cutting in behind the Capitals net. Ellick goes into the right corner. He is chased there and checked by Doug Wickenheiser. Crowder picks it up, gives it to Tonelli. His shot deflected in front, score! Tipped in front as Todd Ellick gets his first NHL goal. He was right in front of the net, and Tonelli took the shot, and Ellick tipped it in, and the Kings get off to the fast start they wanted to, scoring on their first shot of the day, and the Kings lead 1-0.
Well, the shot by John Tonelli was just chopped down in front as it hit the ice by Todd Ellick, number 6, who's playing center, replacing Casper with Tonelli and Crowder. Tonelli just getting the puck, turning, taking the shot, which went off a Capital stick and bounced right in front of the goaltender and was redirected by Todd Ellick. So Ellick, who was recalled 8 games ago, getting the goal, his first in the NHL. Tonelli taking the original shot, but Ellick was right there to chop it in.
Now the puck in the King zone. Here's Dino Ciccarelli. Ciccarelli in the right side sends it down in deep to Ridley. Ridley gets checked in the corner by Duchesne. Now the puck behind the King net, dug out by Ridley. Moves it up the middle to Hatcher at the blue line. Hatcher's backhander up in the air. Ridley knocks it down, turns, shoots, and a save by Hrudey. Rebound off Rudy's glove. Ciccarelli gets knocked down by Laidlaw. Here's Ridley in the right wing corner for the Capitals. King zone. Ridley's pass now comes behind the net to Ciccarelli. Ciccarelli looks in front. He waits. There's a lot of traffic in front of the net. Ciccarelli around in front, shoots, and it's knocked away and then cleared out of the crease as the puck came over on the left side to Makela, and he cleared it out of the crease, but the Kings can't clear it out. Now on the right side, it's taken by Hatcher. Hatcher gives it to Ciccarelli. Ciccarelli centering pass broken up by Duchesne. Kings up 1-0. Here's Gretzky at center. Behind the back pass to Makela. Cutting in front. He shoots, and a save by Beaupre. And the puck poked back to the top of the right circle. Kings hold it in again. Gretzky, left side. His drive off the right wing boards. Held in by McSorley. McSorley fires it down in deep. Broken up there and cleared out to center ice by Mike Ridley. Kings up 1-0, scoring on the first shot of the game. The other night, Philadelphia in Los Angeles scored on their first 2 shots of the first period. So in our pregame comment, you heard Rick Wilson of the Kings say the Kings wanted to get off to a better start, set the tempo of this game, and they have done exactly that.
And their forwards are skating, they're moving, and they're getting in the zone and working the puck down low, which is a good sign.
Bernie Nichols on the ice for the Kings now, gets it off on the right side to McSorley. He gets it ahead to center ice. Kings with it now. Bob Halkita's just called up from New Haven over to Robitaille. His pass in front to Bjugstad. Gives it to Robitaille. Robitaille around in front. His pass tipped up the middle. Bob Halkitis with it to the blue line. He fires it down the left side to Scott Bjugstad. Bjugstad tipped it off, tried to get it to Robitaille, taken away by the Capitals. Back to center ice they come. Across the King line, Calle Johansson moves it on the left side and then pass back in front, but it comes into the right corner. Calle Johansson, the defenseman, leading the attack. Kings take it away. Here is Bernie Nichols sending it around on the right side now, and Marty McSorley moves it up to center. Kings are moving from our right to our left as you join us on radio and TV. 1-0 in favor of the Kings. We have 17-17 to go in the first period. Capitals clear it out to center ice. Brian Benning knocks down the bouncing puck. Then he gets it ahead to Mike Allison. Allison for the Kings on the left wing. He drives it hard around the boards, and the Caps take it away in their own zone. It's moved up ahead now by Jeff Portnoy out to center ice. A full house here today, over 18,000 welcoming in the new year here in the Cap Center. And the Caps are down 1-0. Here's Dale Hunter. He's a leader on this team. His pass on the left side. Down in deep now is John Druce for the Cap. He sends it around the boards, and the Kings will take over in their own zone. Benning leads it up ahead now as Bob Kudelski for the Kings slaps it back behind the Capitals net. 16:39 to go in the first period. 1-0 Kings. Puck comes up to Larry Robinson. Robinson, right point. He sends it behind the net to Gretzky. Gretzky rolled it out in front, and a shot from there, and a save made on the shot by Kudelski. Puck taken by Allison. Allison left side, behind the net to Gretzky. Gretzky rolls it around to the right point to Bob Kudelski. Kudelski holds it in the Capital zone, drives it around behind the net to Gretzky. Gretzky gets checked hard there, and he's upset with Sheehy, and he goes after Sheehy a little bit after the play. Gretzky skated right over to Sheehy and gave him a little bit of a stick underneath the arm. Now the Kings come back. Here's Benning. Benning across the line, gives it to Gretzky. Gretzky top of the slot. Gretzky to the right side. He spins, trying to come down the middle. He got knocked down. Benning with a shot and deflected in front. Picked up on the right side. Kings still with it. Capital zone. Here's Duchesne. Duchesne in the right corner. Duchesne checked there by Hatcher. The Kings up 1-0. Crowder with it for the Kings. Right wing boards. Crowder knocked down from behind by Doug Wickenheiser, and the Capitals come back out to center.
Gretzky and Sheehy doing a lot of stick work. I've never seen Gretzky this mad. Now Allison will come in and pick things up.
Well, in the meantime, play continues as the puck is shot over the King net, and now we have a whistle as the referee, Kerry Fraser, finally decides I better break things up way behind the play.
Well, that all started earlier on the shift. Sheehy checked Gretzky. We'll be back. This is the Los Angeles Kings Hockey Network. Box is Wayne Gretzky of the Kings. He's joined by Neil Sheehy of the Washington Capitals. It all happened deep in the Capital zone, lower right side on the simulcast. Sheehy comes in, is going to elbow Gretzky. That must have been what Gretzky got angered, and there was the two-hander at Sheehy. And then all during that shift, when they were on the puck or away from the puck, they kept pushing and shoving and slashing at each other. So they get penalties at 4:26. Sheehy, former Calgary Flames, so he, I'm sure in past seasons when Gretzky was with Edmonton, agitated or tried to agitate number 99.
They kept hollering at one another even after they got into the penalty box, so both teams remain at full strength. The Kings have a 1-0 lead. Todd Ellick scoring his first goal in the NHL 22 seconds into the start of this game. Roughing is the minor penalties called against Gretzky and Sheehy. Kings move it out to center. It's taken by Duchesne across the line, cap zone. Left side to Ellick. He shoots, and a save by Beaupre. As Ellick looking for his second goal of the game, and he got turned away on a hard shot from the left wing. Puck comes back into the Kings zone, and Duchesne back to get it. He gives it over to Laidlaw. Now moves it up ahead to center ice. Here is Crowder. Crowder to the red line. Crowder sends it right side to Ellick. He sends it in deep, but Kiprio picks up for the Capitals now. He lost it to Ellick. Ellick on the left side to the blue line to Laidlaw. Laidlaw feeds it back on the left side to Ellick, but the net gets dislodged back behind goaltender Don Beaupre.
Well, Crowder and Tonelli doing what they do best, driving for the front of the net, and the Capitals defensemen had their hands full trying to tie them up, and they bumped into the goalpost.
This is an officially copyrighted broadcast of the Los Angeles Kings Limited and is intended solely for the private non-commercial use of our audience. Any reproduction, rebroadcast, or other use of the accounts of this game without the express written consent of the Kings is prohibited.
Luc Robitaille, one of the hottest players in the National Hockey League. He, along with Brett Hull and Pat LaFontaine, are the hot snipers in the NHL. 31 goals, which is third best in the NHL. Point total places him fifth in the league.
Now a shot and a save on the shot by Halkitis. That's the Kings' sixth shot of the period. The Caps have only two. Capitals clear it out to center. Kings are up 1-0 with 14:45 to go in period number one. Pass up to center ice, and Bob Rouse, just back after missing 10 games with a couple of injuries, takes over for the Capitals now. As we told you earlier, the Capitals without Rod Langway and Scott Stevens on defense. Now across the line, left side is Ridley in the King zone. He goes behind the net. He drops it off there. Capitals still with it. On the right side, here's Kelly Miller. He gets checked in the right wing corner. Caps pick it up. Now Ridley tried to get it out to Miller. Checked behind the net by McSorley. Puck is taken by Ciccarelli. He runs into his own man. Now has it again behind the net. Tried to feed it out in front. It deflects back to him. He gets knocked down. Puck comes over to Bob Rouse of Washington. Rouse's pass up in the air. Bounces down to Kelly Miller. Miller out of Michigan State on the right side. Comes to the blue line. Then got knocked down, but he has the puck again. Miller's pass in front and broken up. Left side. Shot from there. Saved by the King goaltender Kelly Rudy on the shot by Calle Johansson. Puck is back behind the King net again. Kings up 1-0. Capitals trying to tie it up, but they can't as McSorley takes it away and sends it the length of the ice. This will be icing against the Kings. Bob Rouse back to touch it for Washington. 13:40 to go. First period, 1-0 Kings. This is the Los Angeles Kings Hockey Network.
Capitals in his 9th season, Brian Murray currently has the longest consecutive tenure of any other NHL coach. He took over for Gary Green back in November of '81.
And he's got over 300 wins in his career. Right point, Hatcher for the Caps, and a save by Kelly Hrudey as Hatcher fired from the right point. Hrudey knocked it down. Hatcher again to the right point, shoots. It's deflected in front by Larry Robinson of the Kings. Comes around the left side. Capitals try to hold it in, but it's taken away now by Bob Kudelski for the Kings. Kudelski's passed down indeed. Bob Joyce, formerly with Boston, he's checked behind the net by Larry Robinson. Joyce still battles for it. They traded Dave Christian to Boston for Joyce. Joyce reaching out, still tries to move the puck. He's still being checked by Larry Robinson. And over to take it for the Kings is Bob Kudelski. He moves it up on the left side to Mikko Makela. It's Kudelski with Makela and Krushelnyski. Krushelnyski across the line, checked hard by Bill Holder of Washington. The puck taken now by Hatcher. Kings up 1-0. Here's Hatcher up to center ice for the Caps. Hatcher at the red line, stick handles nicely and then sends it down in deep in the Kings zone, and Brian Benning back to get it. Benning double team in the corner. Steve Leach in to get it, but he couldn't. Pavanka's also there, but the Kings come out with it, and Makela leads it out to center ice and down into the Washington zone. No icing here. 12:35 left to go in the first period. Bob Miller along with Nick Nixon and Randy Hahn. From Washington, the puck taken now by Hatcher to center. Hatcher for the Capitals. Nice pass ahead, but tipped away from Courtnall by Laidlaw. Now here's Dale Hunter. Hunter for the Kings, or for the Caps. To Drews. Drews shooting and knocked down, but Courtnall skated right by in front and got a piece of Kelly Hrudey's helmet as he skated by. Puck comes off against the boards on the left wing side, and Crowder falls down on it there for a stoppage of play. 1-0 in favor.
Fox now on the Kings bench. He went off with Sheehy earlier in the period for roughing. Gretzky can laugh about it now. Kings are up 1-0. Ellick with his first NHL goal from Tonelli and Crowder just 22 seconds in.
Puck taken now by Ellick as he steals a pass in the Capital zone. Gives it to John Tonelli. Tonelli in front to Crowder, didn't get it. Over to Duchesne. Duchesne on the right side. He sends it back behind the Caps net. Broken up there by Dale Hunter, and he gets it over to Jeff Courtnall. His pass taken away by John Tonelli. Tonelli trying to give it to Ellick, out of his reach. Comes around the left wing side. Here's Crowder with it. He gets checked hard there, and the Caps clear it out to center. Steve Duchesne covers up for the Kings, gives it to Laidlaw, and Laidlaw flips it into the Capital zone. 11:35 left to go in the first period. Kings are up 1-0. Puck comes around to John Druce of Washington. Here's Druce on the right side, gave it away up the middle. Taken by Kudelski. His pass over to Tonelli on the left side. He sends it in deep behind the net, but the Capitals intercept there as Kudelski couldn't get to it. Now Kudelski tried to pick it up and almost did take it away from Johansson, but then the puck comes up out of play into the bench. 11:17 to go in the first period. Kings lead at 1-0.
The assistant coach talked about a high-tempo game for the Los Angeles Kings, and certainly the first period has been that. The Kings getting some good scoring chances. They're out-chancing Washington. Washington trying to slow the Kings down here by throwing their weight around. They've thrown some good checks so far.
Kevin Hatcher sends it into the Kings zone. Marty McSorley over, and he drives it out to center ice, but it came out of play and then back out onto the ice, so the whistle blows.
So Wayne Gretzky, the NHL's leading scorer, angered earlier this period with his confrontation with Sheehy, leading the league with 80 points, 19 goals and 61 assists. His goal production down just a little bit. He's averaged over 50 goals a season in his NHL career, and he thinks the clubs are going to him a bit more this year. So he's got to look for the open man, and he's doing that. He leads the league in assists.
Face off to the right of Kelly Hrudey. Kings are up 1-0 here in the first period with 11:03 to go. And on the face-off, Kings win the draw, and it's taken back behind the King net by Marty McSorley. McSorley waits there now and then passes off on the left side to Krushelnyski. Chopped away from him by Ciccarelli. Picked up by the Kings' Halkitis. His pass over to McSorley, and then McSorley sent it to center and all the way down to the Capital zone. Kevin Hatcher chases it back behind the net. Hatcher around the left side. Good skating defenseman moves it up to center ice now, but Ridley can't hang on. Taken away by McSorley. His pass taken away by Kelly Miller. Here's Kelly Miller, checked by McSorley. Gets it to Dino Ciccarelli in the King zone. Ciccarelli tried to center it, taken away by Krushelnyski. He lost it again. Now it comes in front of the King net, taken by McSorley. His pass out of the right point. Hatcher with a shot. And scores! Ciccarelli! Dino Ciccarelli got the rebound after it hit the goalpost. Hatcher held it in at the right point. He got the shot. It was tipped, hit the goalpost, and the rebound to Ciccarelli, and he just put it inside the lower right corner.
Well, the Kings tried to bank it off and clear it, kept in. Hatcher's shot deflected, and Ciccarelli puts it in after he tipped the shot by Hatcher. Ciccarelli comes into this season with 4 consecutive 40-plus goal campaigns. He leads the Capitals. That is goal number 18. And he's been hot lately. Dino Ciccarelli now with 11 in his last 15 games.
Now the puck back behind the King net again, and Kings take over and clear it out to center. The Kings just had trouble clearing the puck out on that last goal, and Hatcher did a good job of holding it in, and then he got the play started. 1-1 the score with 10 minutes left to go here in the first period. Puck comes back behind the King net, touched by Larry Robinson. Icing called against Washington. We'll be right back. We're all tied 1-1.
Period. Kings and the Capitals now tied at 1. The Caps tying it up at 9:37. Ciccarelli with his 18th from Hatcher. Both clubs doing a good job at driving for the front of the net. The Kings did that early on when they had 3 or 4 good chances, including the goal by Alec, and the Capitals are doing it and finally bought a goal as they got a break on the rebound.
And the Capitals come out of their own zone in a hurry. Now here's Michael Pavanka down the middle on the right side, and in deep is Joyce, and his shot is knocked down by Rudy. Bob Joyce goes behind the King net, still with it now. Game tied at 1, first period. Joyce over on the right side to Leach, tipped away from him, and Wayne Gretzky has it. Here's Gretzky to center for the Kings. Gretzky to the red line. Gretzky to the Capital line, across the line, into the Cap zone, stops at the right point. Gretzky's pass down in front now as Kudelski tried to get to it. He did. He got it to Allison, now to Benning, and a shot from there knocked down by Beaupre. And the puck comes out to center ice, covered up by the Kings. Here's Mike Allison back into the Capital zone. Allison had it knocked off his stick. Brian Benning with it. Benning at the left point. His drive knocked down, and the Capitals cover up. Here is Bob Rouse. He moves it out to center ice. Caps with it again. Here's Bob Joyce on the left side. Joyce, his pass deflected back to Steve Leach. Leach drops it back on the left side to Holder. His shot saved by Rudy, and he covers up in front. A pad save by Kelly Rudy, and then he covered up for the faceoff with 9:04 to go in the first period. The game tied 1-1.
Well, even the perimeter shots by Washington and the Kings are going through a lot of traffic, and the goaltenders have had their hands full. A lot of shots have been deflected in front of Kelly Rudy and goaltender Don Beaupre at the other end. Rudy, of course, his last start Saturday against Philadelphia, allowed 4 goals on 11 shots, was replaced 4 minutes into the second period by Mario Goslin. And Rudy's trademark, at least this year, is he's been able to rebound after a poor appearance.
Now Luc Robitaille up to center ice. Here's Robitaille to the red line. Backhands it down into the Capital zone. And in deep is Sheehy. His pass off the board. Taken away by the Kings. Robitaille in front of Nichols. He shoots. And it's over the net. Puck is picked up by Wickenheiser for the Caps. He can't clear it. Laidlaw holds it in on the left side. Laidlaw still with it now. Top of the slot. Laidlaw in the slot. He's covered there. Got it to Nichols. Nichols with a backhanding spinning shot and a save by Beaupre. Puck comes over to Robitaille. Robitaille to Duchesne and a save by Beaupre. At point-blank range on Steve Duchesne from about 10 feet away. And Beaupre made the save. We'll be back. This is the Los Angeles Kings Hockey Network.
Beaten on the first shot of the game on the deflection. He's been sharp since. Duchesne jumping up into the play, and from point blank, just one times it, but Beaupre reaches out with the left arm to make the save. It's about the 5th good chance the Kings have had, all from right in front of Beaupre this period.
1-1 the score, 8.5 minutes to go in the first period. Puck taken by the Washington Capitals. Kevin Hatcher's back behind his own net. Kings have Tonelli up front. Into forecheck, but the puck comes down to center ice, and Laidlaw back to get it. Here's Laidlaw passing it back to Steve Duchesne in the Kings zone. Now to John Tonelli. Got away from him, and here's Kevin Hatcher. Hatcher across the line. Hatcher on the right side to John Druce. His pass in front of Courtnall, but he couldn't find the puck. Was caught in his skates, and now the Kings dig it out. They get it to Todd Ellick. Ellick up to Steve Duchesne. Here's Duchesne to the Kings across the Capitals line. Duchesne pass on the right side to Crowder, but the Caps Courtnall beat him to it. Cleared it back out to center. Kings with it again. Ellick passes back in his own zone to Laidlaw. Laidlaw moves it up to Duchesne on the right side. Duchesne's pass ahead, swept down by Crowder into the Capital zone, and Kevin Hatcher takes over. Here he comes again. Hatcher, the big defenseman, down the left side, in front, shoots! Tipped wide by Rudy, who stayed with him. Puck comes up the middle, and Duchesne can't clear it. Here is Courtnall shooting from the left side, and a save by Rudy. At the left point, a shot and another save by Rudy on Kelly Johansson's shot from the left point, and the Kings clear it to center. Ciccarelli with it for Washington, right wing. He shoots, blocked by Laidlaw. Kings clear it out to center. Boy, some pressure there by the Washington Capitals, and Kelly Rudy kept turning them away. Kevin Hatcher, Nick, for a big guy, is a good skater, and he's starting a lot of this offensive play for the Capitals.
He really is. He's dominating out there in that first period.
1-1 the score. Let's pause for station identification right now. This is the Los Angeles Kings Hockey Network. Hatcher got the puck out at center ice, and the big guy came back, moving it into the Kings zone. He's 6'4", 225 in his 5th year, and he tried to get around Laidlaw and move in front of the net, and Kelly Hrudey stayed with him and tipped it away. Now we're back to live action here at the Cap Center. The Capitals within the Kings zone. Kelly Miller sends it down in deep. The game is tied 1-1. Dino Ciccarelli with it. He's got the Capitals goal today. Now Ciccarelli fights behind the King net, still with it. He's checked there by Kudelski into the boards. Puck is picked up by Kelly Miller. Ciccarelli gets up. Miller still with it. Miller along the left wing boards in the King zone. Now Miller's pass down to Ciccarelli, shooting and a save. Bob Rouse with it. He can't get the backhander underway, and the puck is cleared out to center and down into the Washington zone. And we have an icing call against the Kings with 6:23 to go in the first period. 1-1 the score, as the Capitals now have the momentum in the game.
Well, they're skating and they're driving for the front of the net. They're getting shots. A lot of the shots originating from their point men, Johansson and Hatcher. This time they worked it down low. Quick spin around shot by Ciccarelli, kicked out. Rebound bounced to Rouse, who jumped up on the play, but he couldn't find the handle. And finally, Kudelski relieved the pressure and swatted it the length of the ice.
Capitals have won 4 in a row and 6 of their last 7, and they're playing well at home. They have won 3 straight at home. That's their longest home winning streak of the season. 1-1 the score here with 6:23 to go in the first period. At the left point, shot by Holder and a save by Kelly Hrudey. The Caps firing from the blue line as Holder fired from the left point. Kings dig it out and they come to center. Here's a pass over from Robitaille to Nichols, out of his reach, and Bill Holder of Washington sends it back into the Kings zone. In deep is Larry Robinson. His pass around to Robitaille on the boards. He's double teamed, taken away by Pivanka. Here's Pivanka out of Czechoslovakia. His pass back behind the King net. Steve Leach goes for it there. He gets it back on the right side now. Bob Joyce with it. Joyce to Pivanka. Back to Joyce. Right wing corner, Kings zone. Here's Bob Joyce still with it. His shot deflected by Robinson up in the air into the left corner. Kept in by Holder. Holder's a defenseman in deep of the Kings. Take it away. Game tied 1-1. 5:40 left to go here in the first period. Kings clear it out to center ice.
Well, when forwards drive for the front of the net, those perimeter shots from the point men can be effective, and they've been effective for Washington in this period.
Now the Kings, Bernie Nichols across the line, goes to the top of the slot, gives it on the right side, and a shot from the right side by Bjugstad, and a save made by Beaupre, and the Caps clear it back down into the Kings zone. Going to get an icing call here against Washington. 5:16 to go.
5:16 left in the first. High tempo, highly intense first period. Mike Krushelnyski out to take the draw with Gretzky and Allison.
And on the face-off in the Capital zone, it comes up the middle to Gretzky. Gretzky sends it to Laidlaw. Laidlaw at the left point. Laidlaw with a drive from there and a glove save made by Beaupre. He hangs on. Then he's got room to drop it down for Hatcher. Hatcher got it to Druce out to center, and it's chased down by Duchesne. He beats Courtnall to it. Duchesne of the Kings sends it all the way back behind the Capitals net. 4:55 to go here in the first period. 1-1 the score. Kings scored in their first shot of the day. Todd Ellick getting his first NHL goal. Caps tied it on the goal by Ciccarelli. Puck is taken now in the Kings zone by Laidlaw. He gets it over to Steve Duchesne. Here's Duchesne's pass off the boards out to center ice. Capitals cover up with their own blue line. Rookie Dennis Smith. His pass. Now Dale Hunter with it at center ice. Hunter for Washington. Here's Hunter across the King line in the slot. Shoots and a save off the blocker by Hrudey. As Hunter went up high with it. Now Hunter centers it. Broken up by Laidlaw. He clears it off the boards out to center. Chased by Gretzky into the Capital zone. The goaltender comes out. Gretzky jumps around him. The goaltender's way out, but the Kings don't have anybody else in there to get the puck. Now they do at the right point. Here's Crowder, but Beaupre's back in front of the net. Crowder's pass back behind the net. Beaupre cut it off. Beaupre chased Gretzky out for the puck. He didn't get it, but the puck went into the right corner, and then there was nobody back for the Kings to get a puck and shoot into the empty net, and Beaupre was able to get back. Now Gretzky at the King line tips it over and out to center ice. Chased down by Krushelnyski. Krushelnyski checked by Rouse, and the Kings touch it offside at the Capital blue line. 3:51 to go.
Wanted a high-tempo first period, and it's been that, Bob. Boy.
Well, the Kings, as we mentioned, off to that 1-0 lead, but the Caps have tied it, and that's where we stand with 3:40 to go here in the first period. Kings with it. Here's Crowder ahead to Ellick. Ellick with one goal today. Comes into the Capital zone. Right side, he shoots, and a save by Beaupre. Beaupre, after the save, kind of looked behind him to see where it was, but Ellick had a lot of speed coming down the right wing. Beaupre turned him away. Now behind the Capitals net, the puck is taken by Calle Johansson. He gets it up to Wickenheiser. Back to Johansson. He can't clear it. John Tonelli knocks it down. Now it comes out to center ice and all the way back into the Kings zone. 3:14 left to go here in the first period. 1-1 the score. Puck is taken now by the Kings in their own zone as Mikko Makela has it. Makela gives it into Halkitis, and now it's taken away by the Caps in front. Cicerelli, and it went off his stick. It hopped off his stick. He was all alone in front. Nick, the Kings really seemed confused down in deep. They had 3 players there, and none of them seemed to know who was going to take the puck next.
And they forgot about Cicerelli in front, their top goal scorer.
1-1 the score with 2:40 left to go in the first period. Puck is taken by Mike Ridley. Ridley checked by Makela. Makela back behind the Caps net, rolls it out in front, taken away by Kelly Miller. Here's Kelly Miller for Washington on the left wing. He cuts to center ice. He still has it. Comes across the line. Drops it to Mike Ridley. Ridley, top of the circle. Ridley's pass to Miller in front and then tipped away. And Kudelski sends it along the boards. Taken away by the Caps. Here's Ridley in the slot. Ridley's pass over on the left side to Cicerelli. Cicerelli checked again. Puck comes left side. A shot by Miller and a save off the arm of Rudy, and a penalty coming up here. Who they get? Caps? Caps had the puck. Unless we're going to get coincidental minors here. 2:10 to go in the first period.
We'll get the game's first power play, and it comes here at 17:50 of the first period. Now, left side of your screen in the simulcast, let's watch number 22, Cicerelli. He bumps, who's at Benning. Benning went flying. Then he got a piece of Rudy. I think he got the penalty for getting his right hand up in the side of the head of Kelly Rudy. So Cicerelli goes off, and the Kings go on the power play. Game is tied at 1 as the first period winds down. Penalty at 17:50. Bernie Nichols out to take the draw as the Kings start the man advantage. Robitaille and Gretzky up front. Kings power play ranked second, 26.1%. Calgary now first. Penalty killing, the Caps are fourth in the league, 83%.
So the Kings running up for the second game in a row against a good penalty-killing team. Kings with it. Here's Gretzky to Robitaille, shooting and just tipped wide by Beaupre. Rebound in front, and Beaupre covers it up. The Kings came out off the face-off in a hurry, and Gretzky was coming down the right side, and Robitaille, who leads the Kings in power play goals with 12, was off to Gretzky's left. Gretzky got it to him, and a bouncing puck. Luke picked it out of midair on the bounce, but Beaupre made the save and then covered up the centering pass by Robitaille. Luc Robitaille has a goal in 8 straight. He's got 12 power play goals. That's second in the NHL. Second to Cam Neely of Boston, who's got 13. Kings 0 for 11 on the power play against the Capitals last season. Face off in the Capital zone. Wayne Gretzky ready on the draw with 2 minutes exactly to go here in the first period. 1-1 the score, and the puck gets by Brian Benning at the left point and back down into the Kings zone. Kings have Benning and Duchesne at the blue line at the points, and they've got Gretzky, Nichols, and Robitaille up front. Kings start back out of their own zone now. Here's Brian Benning to the red line. He slaps it hard into the Capital zone. Puck comes into the right corner, and over there for the Kings is Nichols. Nichols gets it behind the net to Robitaille. Here's Robitaille in the Capital zone. His pass broken up by Calle Johansson, and he clears it out to center. Rolls into the Kings zone, and Kelly Rudy slaps it around behind the net over to Benning, and Benning just did get there before Ridley of Washington, who had come in to forecheck. 1:19 to go in the first period, 1-1 the score. Here's Wayne Gretzky trying to give it to Robitaille on the left side, just out of his reach. In deep goes Robitaille, Hatcher with it there. Now ticked away, and Gretzky can't hang on. It's picked up by the Capitals. Out the center is Pivonka. Here's Michael Pivonka trying to come down the middle. He's double-teamed and knocked down. Benning and Duchesne picked him up. Now Gretzky to Robitaille. Robitaille across the Capital line. Robitaille on the left side drives it down in deep. Capitals cover up there. Bill Holder with it. Holder can't clear it. Left side, Duchesne. Duchesne tried to feed it through. Broken up. Robinson shooting in a glove save by Beaupre. 36 seconds to go in the King power play, but Don Beaupre made the glove save that time and hangs on with 47 seconds left in the first period. Formerly with Minnesota, spent 9 years there, won a career-high 25 games with the North Stars in 85-86. And playing well for the Capitals, 15 wins on the year, same number that Kelly Rudy of the Kings has. Face off to the left of Beaupre. Kings still on the power play with the game tied 1-1. At the end of this period, Nick will be talking live with Mike Ridley, one of the real success stories in the NHL, a guy that was just taken by the Rangers to give him a look and see if he could play. Well, he not only can play, he led them in scoring, and then has played very well since being traded here to Washington. He'll be Nick's guest live at the end of this period. We have 47 seconds left in period number 1. Face off to the left. of Don Beaupre with the game tied at 1. King still with a man advantage. John Tonelli wins the draw. To the right point to Marty McSorley to Gretzky. Gretzky's pass back along the left side to Robinson. In front, Tonelli tips it, and a save by Beaupre. John Tonelli right in front to deflect it, but didn't get a lot of wood on it, I don't believe. And Beaupre going down to the ice, covered up and made the save. Now 39 seconds remain in this first period. As Beaupre gets set again in front of the net. He was the number 2 pick by Minnesota back in 1980. Traded to Washington for that well-known defenseman, Claudio Screamin. You may never hear that name again. I don't know. Face-off will be to the left of Don Beaupre. John Tonelli on the draw with the Kings still with a power play. They'll have it unless they score until 10 seconds are left in this period. 1-1 the score, and off the draw, the Caps with it. Here's Hatcher starting out of his own zone again. Hatcher to center to the red line with Kelly Miller. Hatcher shoots, it's deflected up out of play. As Hatcher came to the blue line and then got the shot, but it was deflected up into the crowd. Kevin Hatcher. Told you he's a big guy, 6'4", 225. Number 1 pick of the Caps in '84. Born in Detroit. And was a boxer as a youngster. Worked out in a gym where Thomas Hearns trains in Detroit. And he has been a force offensively and defensively in this first period for the Capitals. Now off the draw just inside the King line. It's taken by Laidlaw. He's checked by Ridley. Ridley to Kelly Miller, shooting as he fell down, and the shot went wide to the left. Kings still with a power play for another 8 seconds. Kings in their own zone. John Tonelli moves it up to center ice to Gretzky on the right side. Here's Gretzky behind the back pass to Duchesne. Duchesne around Hatcher. Duchesne centers it to the blue line. Laidlaw holds it in. Capture back at full strength. Cicerelli out of the penalty box. 3 seconds to go in the period, and Cicerelli's pass comes into the King zone, and time runs out in the first period. Well, a good, fast, entertaining first period here at the Cap Center on the first day of 1990. 2 goals in the game. The Kings score on their first shot. Todd Ellick gets his first ever in the NHL from John Tonelli and Keith Crowder 22 seconds into the game. Then Washington tied it. Dino Cicerelli with his 18th of the year from Kevin Hatcher at 9:37. And that was all the scoring.
In the ice, the Kings and the Washington Capitals. Crowder worked the puck off the boards to John Tonelli. His shot was deflected, bounced in front, and Ellick swiped it past Beaupre for his first NHL goal. Kings scoring on their first shot. But the Capitals came back. Kings couldn't clear. They tried to bank it out. Hatcher kept it in. His shot deflected by Cicerelli, hit the post, and Cicerelli got his own rebound off the post and tucked it in for his 18th goal. Hatcher the assist at 9:37. So we're tied at 1. Shots 14 apiece in that wide open first period. Scoring chances 5-3 for LA. The face-off 10 wins for the Kings, 8 for the Capitals. And the only team with a power play, the Kings, with Cicerelli off, and the Kings 0 for 1. Todd Ellick playing in his 8th game. He was leading New Haven in scoring at the time of his recall. Natural center iceman. And he gets his first NHL goal here today to start off the 1990s. Ellick playing with Tonelli and Crowder. So we're tied at 1. Second period underway. Once again, here's Bob.
All right, Nick, the Kings bounce it into the Cap zone, and now the Capitals' Calle Johansson moves it up ahead to center ice. Puck sent down into the King zone by Doug Wickenheiser. Tipped away by Kelly Rudy against the left wing boards. Wickenheiser slammed hard there by Ellick. Puck is sent behind the King net, taken by Brian Benning. Over to John Tonelli on the left wing. Tonelli moves it out to center ice, but out of the reach of Crowder, and Calle Johansson covers up. He used to be with Buffalo. He sends it right in between the penalty boxes. Kings trying to dig it out, but they can't. And Nick Kypreos of the Capitals sends it all the way back behind the King net. Second period just underway. Kings moving from our left to our right with the game tied 1-1. Crowder knocks down a pass at center, gets it to Todd Ellick. Ellick across the line, gets knocked down on the right side by Ridley. Now Crowder with it for the Kings. Crowder tried to center it and come over to Tonelli on the left side, but bounced away from him to Cicerelli. Cicerelli to Kelly Miller. Miller, left side, can't get around Larry Robinson. Puck is taken by Miller again. Now tipped over to Holder. Holder on the left wing boards for the Caps. Sends it to Cicerelli behind the net. Cicerelli with it there. Back over to Kelly Miller. Here's Miller on the left wing. Miller for the Capitals with a game tied at 1 early in the second. Kelly Miller still with it now along the left wing side. Hangs onto it. Now sends it down in deep in the Kings zone, and Todd Ellick breaks it up there. Ellick pass to Larry Robinson. Robinson's pass deflects off the boards. Ellick backs at it. He gets it up to Crowder. Crowder trying to clear it. It comes over to Benning. Here's Benning to center for the Kings. Brian Benning to the Capital line, and it's swept off his stick into the corner and taken by Dino Cicerelli. They've added an assist to Kelly Miller on Cicerelli's goal. Here is Kelly Miller in center ice now. He tried to get it to Ridley, but it's out of his reach and taken by Steve Duchesne for the Kings. His pass stolen by Kevin Hatcher. Hatcher gets it to Cicerelli. Cicerelli for the Capitals. Right side, up the middle. Shot by Joyce is wide. Rebound, Ridley centers it in front. Intercepted by the Kings. Duchesne moves it up to center. It's tipped ahead to Gretzky. Here's Gretzky to the Capital line. His pass comes across the line. Kings would have been offside. Puck taken by Holder. Holder flips it out to center. It's knocked down by Makula. Comes right back to Holder. He fires it all the way down to the Kings zone, and it comes into the corner. Leach goes for it there. He didn't get it. Kings with it. Gretzky tipped it over to Kruzhelnyski. Kruzhelnyski to center, flips it into the Capital zone. Chased in by Rouse in the corner. He throws Kruzhelnyski down to the ice. Puck taken by Bob Joyce for Washington. Here's Joyce on the left wing. He gets it ahead to Steve Leach. Leach in zone, shoots wide to the right side. Rebound, Rouse at the right point. Rouse holds it in, but his pass taken away. Kings come back out to center. Now pass it to Gretzky, 2-on-1. Gretzky with Makula. Gretzky over to Makula, but it's out of his reach. Makula kind of held up a little bit and then wasn't going at full speed to get the pass from Gretzky. Caps come back 3-on-3. Game tied 1-1. Pavanka across the line, now in the middle and sent down by Leach in the left wing corner. He's chased in there. His pass taken away by the Kings. We've played 3 minutes of the second period here with a game tied at 1. Pass by Nichols, stolen, shot by Courtnall, and a save made by Rudy. Stick save by Rudy. Puck comes back to the Kings. Here's Gretzky to center ice now. Gretzky on the right side. Pulls up, gives it to Marty McSorley. McSorley, Capital zone. McSorley peels against the left wing side. Back to Benning at the blue line, and he fanned on it. It hopped over his stick. Benning back to get it and jumps in front of Courtnall to control it. Now the puck up at center ice and taken by Washington's John Bruce. He loses it. Kings give it away again on the left wing side. Benning's pass knocked down by Hunter with a backhander just deflected wide. Picked up by Larry Robinson. He can't clear it. Right point, a shot saved. Courtnall in front, can't get a shot. Puck taken by Nichols. Nichols to center. Now to the Capital line. Throws it on the right side to Larry Robinson. Back in front, Robitaille shoots over the net. Puck comes back over to Larry Robinson. Into Nichols. Nichols tried to give it to Robitaille. Broken up in the slot. Capitals with it. Sheehy pulls it up on the left side to Jeff Courtnall. Courtnall across the line. Courtnall's pass broken up by Larry Robinson. Game tied at 1. Robinson's pass off the board, stolen by the Capitals at center. Here's Kevin Hatcher. Hatcher across the line. Hatcher to the right side, still has it. Hatcher down in deep in the corner. He had it poked off his stick there, and the puck is picked up now. Capitals still control it in the King zone. Pass around the boards over from Alan May to Kiprios, back to May. Here's May, used to be King's property, then was traded. Now May around in front, over in the backhander by Kiprios. Score! Kelly Rooney made the first save, but Nick Kiprios was there for his own rebound, and Washington leads 2-1.
Nice job by May centering the puck off Robinson's skate, but nobody picked up Kiprios, and he was allowed to shoot twice. The first time the save, the second time he put in his own rebound. May had trouble with the puck in his skates, but worked it free, tried to center, went off the skate of Robinson, so a good bounce there for the Caps. Kiprios with the save, and before Bukestad could pick up Kiprios for his second shot, he put in his own rebound. 5th goal of the year for left winger Nick Kiprios. Alan May the assist at 4:23.
May and Hatcher on those assists. Hatcher's second of the game. Puck centered out in the Capital zone to the blue line. Caps break it up. They got a 2-on-1. Here across the line, right side shot, save made on Wickenheiser's shot as Kelly Rudy covers up. 2-1 in favor of the Washington Capitals.
Sun lead over the Kings, and the goal at 4:23 by Nick Kiprios, his 5th from Alan May and Kevin Hatcher, as again Hatcher got involved offensively. He started that sequence by carrying the puck deep into the Kings zone to the left of goaltender Kelly Rudy. Again, the Capitals without Stevens and Langway, both out injured.
Capitals have the first 5 shots of this second period. Pass to the King blue line. Kudelski had to go off his stick. He had to chase it in, and now he's pressured by Kelly Miller against the left wing boards. Kings digging out, though, but they're not going to be able to clear it. Comes down to the right side to Bob Rouse. His shot deflected. Picked up by Miller to the blue line. Johansson, his pass taken away. Kings move it back to center. Here's Bob Kudelski. Kings down 2-1. Kudelski to Duchesne. Duchesne gives it on the left side. A shot from there is wide as Krushelnyski got the shot. The rebound to Gretzky. Gretzky's pass to Kudelski. Kudelski, Gretzky, and Krushelnyski for the Kings. Puck comes down in the right wing corner, Capital zone. Krushelnyski gives it to Gretzky. Gretzky to the blue line to Duchesne. Duchesne takes a shot. Now his shot is deflected over to Gretzky. Gretzky rolled it back in front, and Kudelski tried to take it behind the net. Where is it? It's held against the side of the net, and no whistle at first, and then they blew the whistle.
I think Kerry Fraser blew the whistle, but he didn't get all of it. We talk about players not getting all of a shot. I don't think Kerry Fraser got all of that whistle. That's what I wanted to say.
You got to get the lip of that whistle fully in your mouth.
That's right. It's an art form, and Kerry just is having trouble with it. I think Beaupre, he felt that he froze it long enough. Tom Webster, I think he's a little perplexed the way the Kings have come out here in the second period. But you got to give Brian Murray's Capitals credit. This has been one of the higher-paced Kings-Capitals games in recent memory. The Capitals usually a patient team, wait for their opportunities, but boy, they've been going end-to-end, both clubs here so far today.
Now the Capitals with it up to center ice. Here's Bill Holder. It's taken away by Scott Bjugstad. Bjugstad for the Kings. Just got here last night from New Haven. He along with Bob Halkitis. Puck is in the right wing corner of the Cap zone. Now Robitaille sends it in front to Nichols. He shoots, and a save by Beaupre. Puck comes out to the blue line. Marty McSorley holds it in. Left point. His shot. Pad save. Rebound. Robitaille got knocked down as he fanned on it. Now the puck in the left wing corner. Robitaille's down to the ice. He gets up, and Neil Sheehy comes out with a puck for the Capitals. Up ahead to Joyce. Joyce on the left wing. Joyce into the King zone. Drops it now. Pivonka shooting, and it's blocked as the shot was blocked in the way, and Caps with it again. A wraparound score! Bob Joyce.
And again, Bob, the Kings guilty of not picking up people around Kelly Rudy's net. Second rebound that has been tapped in. Kyprios got his own rebound earlier in the period, and now Joyce from just about the same spot. He walks out, save is made, and he got his own rebound. Marty McSorley unable to pick up Joyce there. McSorley coming across, but after that first shot, McSorley peeled away from Joyce, and Joyce got the rebound and put it in. Bob Joyce, acquired a couple of weeks ago for veteran Dave Christian. A little bit bigger than Christian, and they like Joyce around the net. They feel with his size he can drive for the front of the net and be more effective in that regard than Christian was. So the Capitals now up 3-1. The goal at 6:23. Joyce from Pivonka and Sheehy.
At 6:23.
So goals exactly 2 minutes apart by the Capitals, and they have their widest lead of the day, 3-1. And Nick, the problem then for the Kings becomes one of trying to come back again as they were against Philadelphia the other night against a very good defensive team. And once those good defensive teams get the lead, they don't break down too often. Here's Courtnall to center, the red line, 3-on-3 for the Capitals. Courtnall across the line, his pass intercepted, and Larry Robinson clears it back out to center for the Kings. 3-1 Capitals with 13:13 to go here in the second period. Dennis Smith, rookie defenseman for the Caps, moves it around the boards. Now to Courtnall at center. Here's Courtnall down the right wing against Robinson. Courtnall pulls up. Robinson goes into the corner. Puck is centered back behind the King net. Capitals still move it now along the left wing side as Dale Hunter comes in to try and get it. John Druce had been knocked down. Puck is still controlled by Washington. Now it rolls free, and the Kings have trouble with it, but Robinson finally takes control. Larry Robinson, his pass to Benning. Benning to Gretzky. Gretzky comes to the Capital line, changes directions on Hatcher. Gretzky shoots, and it's over the net and off the glass. Nice change of direction by Gretzky, and he got away from Hatcher. He got a shot, but he got it too high. Now Dale Hunter, the King line, he gets stopped there, and Hatcher sends it in deep. Teams change on the fly with 12:25 to go here in the second period. Kings are down 3-1. They score the first goal of the game, but now have given up 3 unanswered goals, and the puck comes up out of play at center ice. 3-1 Washington.
7 shots in the first 7:40 of the period, including 2 goals. Kyprios and Joyce each with their 5th. And now all 3 goals scored by Washington today have come on rebounds, second chances in front of Kelly Hrudey. Hrudey making saves on the first opportunities, but the second one has beaten him.
Kings went almost 6 minutes of this period till they got their first shot. Now on the right side, Alan May cutting in. He shoots, and a save by Kelly Hrudey as May fired from a steep angle on the right wing. Kings come back to center ice, trying to get back in the game. They're down by 2. Across the line, Duchesne with a shot and a save by Beaupre. And he covers up. 3-1 Washington. 11:56 to go in the second. This is the Los Angeles Kings Hockey Network.
The top defensive teams in the league have now a 3-1 lead over the Kings, one of the highest scoring offensive teams in the league.
Now the puck taken by the Caps in their own zone as Holder moves it up to center, gives it to Kelly Miller on the left wing. Here's Miller across the line. He's cut off there, and Wayne Gretzky with it. Kings tied with Toronto as the highest scoring team in the league right at this point. Here is Bob Kudelski with a backhander. Not a lot on it. Save made by Beaupre. He slides out, and he makes the save and hangs on for the faceoff. 3-1 Washington. This game is coming to you live from the sold-out Cap Center in Landover, Maryland.
Now, new combinations because of the injuries and the illness to Casper. Gretzky out with Kruzhelnyski and Kudelski.
Duchesne with a shot and a save by Beaupre. Knocked it down with a glove, and then it comes into the corner. Kudelski. His pass off the boards. Caps intercept. Back they come to center now. Here's Mike Ridley, left side with room. He shoots, save, and hit Hrudey up high. Scores! Ciccarelli!
Bob, either Ciccarelli or a bounce off one of the Kings. But irregardless, the Capitals have now built a 4-1 lead. Good job by Kelly Miller cutting to his right and opening up the left side of the ice. Again, Hrudey makes the first save. Ridley with the shot, hitting Hrudey up high. Then the rebound was in front, and I guess Ciccarelli got it before Kruzhelnyski could clear to the side as Ciccarelli went tumbling into the post. Ridley with a high shot. Hrudey came charging out. The loose puck, and Ciccarelli reaching for it, taps it in while he was upended. So 4 goals for the Capitals, all on rebound, second chances. Second of the game, 19th of the season for Dino Ciccarelli at 8:41.
So 4 straight goals for the Capitals now, and they lead by 3. We're not midway through the game yet. Here across the line, Pivonka for Washington, but an offside call. Caps are skating well here today. They are really coming out of their zone, out to center ice with some speed.
They are, and their defensemen are really helping to set the pace by moving the puck quickly, and guys like Hatcher carrying it out of the zone. The Kings are getting caught up a few times, but again, you go back to the way the Capitals have scored. They're just not as attentive in front of Kelly Hrudey picking up people as you'd like them to be. All 4 goals scored on second opportunities.
Face-off outside the blue line of the Kings. Puck comes free and is driven by Dennis Smith into the Kings zone, and Luc Robitaille kicks it to Benning. Benning's pass comes around the boards and out to center ice. Taken by the Kings of the red line now as Bukestad gets to the Nichols. His pass broken up. Comes back out to center. Benning couldn't control it. Here's Pivonka. Pivonka for the Caps with Joyce. Gives it to Joyce. Joyce down the right side. Goes in deep behind the net. Checked by Larry Robinson. Robinson pokes it away to Bernie Nichols. Nichols pass intercepted by Steve Leach of Washington. He sends it down in deep. Joyce bumps into Robinson. Sends it in front. And a save by Hrudey. Pivonka was right in front. And Hrudey came up with a big save. Kings come back. Here's Nichols, right wing. Nichols, Capital zone. Throws it in front of Robinson. He scores! Larry Robinson picked up the loose puck in deep in the left circle, and he drives it past Beaupre. And now it's the Capitals 4, the Kings 2.
Well, that centering pass hit a skate and deflected, and Larry Robinson was in the right spot at the right time. Nichols floats it across, and it goes off the skate of Hatcher, and Robinson, jumping up in the play, just wristed it from about 25 feet. So Nichols was looking for, I think, Robitaille driving for the front, but it went off Hatcher to Robinson, and Larry puts it in for his 5th goal of the season at 9:33. Nichols will pick up 1 assist, along with Scott Bukestad.
And an assist number 20, Robitaille.
Well, they got that wrong.
Yeah.
Robitaille and Bukestad. It's Nichols and probably Bukestad.
I think they got the 8 and 9 confused. Now right off the draw, one of the Capitals goes down.
That is Kypreos out at center ice. Nick Kypreos down on his knees. This is right after the faceoff, so maybe a stick came up. We'll wait and see. He's reaching up around to get his helmet off, and he is bleeding on the ice right now. So he got cut off the faceoff.
It's like either the nose or maybe the mouth. He's got the towel up there to help subside the bleeding. Of course, he's looking for a penalty. 4-2 Capitals. We'll be back. This is the Los Angeles Kings Hockey Network. Cut right off the draw at center after the Robinson goal. He's up. Again, not too serious, probably a few stitches. Now, Kerry Fraser, as of right now, has not called a penalty. It was right off the draw. He was matched up with Keith Crowder. The fans are upset because no penalty was called, but it was accidental. Right off the draw, see the puck comes up, and Crowder turns and clips Kypreos. Crowder turning right off the draw, had his stick up and clipped Nick Kypreos, but no penalty. And we'll get a face-off just outside the Capitals blue line. 4-2. Robinson his fifth. They announced Bjugstad and Robitaille. I think they got 8 Bjugstad and 9 Nichols mixed up. It was Nichols that gave the pass in front, so I'm sure they'll change it. But the goal is Robinson's at 9:33. Let's see now if the Kings can build some momentum.
Marty McSorley fires it into the Capital zone. Puck is on the left wing side. John Tonelli gets knocked down. Crowder in to get it. Throws it behind the net, but it's broken up there and sent around the boards and out to the blue line where Alcides tried to keep it in for the Kings, but it's forced back out to center. Capitals at the red line now. Joyce gets checked there, and back for the Kings is Todd Ellick. Here's Ellick at the red line. He gets knocked down. Puck is taken by Crowder. Crowder sends it over to Alcides, and he fires it up on the ledge and around the boards in the Cap zone. Puck comes down to the right point to Marty McSorley. McSorley sends it behind the net over to John Tonelli. Tonelli in front to Ellick, and a shot and a save by Beaupre. Ellick just reached out, looked like with one hand, and got pretty good speed on that shot. Here's Ellick again in front to Tonelli, and a save by Beaupre. It never came through to Tonelli, and Tonelli and Rouse push at one another. Now they're broken up behind the net by Brian Murphy, the linesman.
Well, John Tonelli, the way he plays, it would frustrate a lot of NHL defensemen. Constant motion out there, never giving up until the last possible split second. Maybe Rouse was upset that Tonelli tried to work that rebound free, that loose puck, right at the whistle. And Tonelli still jawing at the referee. Now I think Tonelli's going to get a penalty.
Back over the boards and go over to the penalty box.
So we'll get penalties at 10:23 here in the second period. Bob Rouse, who came over in that 4-player deal from Minnesota. Alec, who's had some chances here, takes the shot. Missing the tip was Tonelli. Then Tonelli got a stick up. It looked like on the left arm of Beaupre. Then he was pushing with Rouse. Pushing again. Then Rouse says a little more to John. The linesman helps out. Nothing really developed, but they lingered. They each get 2 for unsportsmanlike conduct.
Left point, a shot from there by Laidlaw and a save by Beaupre. And the puck cleared to center by the Capitals. Here's Ridley. Ridley across the line. Hook check away. Kings come back. Here's Gretzky with it. Gretzky to the Capital line. Across the line. Peels back at the blue line. Feeds it right side to Duchesne. His shot deflected by Ridley. Ridley back behind the behind the Capital net, and then lost it to Gretzky. Gretzky throws it in the corner, bounces away from Makela. We're coming upon 9 minutes left to go in the second period. The Kings are down 4-2. Puck is in the Capital zone. Gretzky going for it. Sheehy bats it away from him and out to center ice. Kings with it again. Here's Steve Duchesne. Duchesne to the right side. His pass broken up by Sheehy. Sheehy to Ridley for Washington. Ridley across the line in the slot. Ridley and now to Cicerelli. Couldn't get it. Holder with it. Holder backhander wide and off the board. Puck taken by Dale Hunter for Washington. He gets it in deep to Holder, the defenseman. He's back behind the net. He's tied up by Gretzky. Puck is loose. Ridley with it again for Washington. Capture up 4-2. Kruzleniski tried to take it away. It's picked up by Cicerelli. Cicerelli's got 2 goals. He comes around in front for a hat trick and a save by Rudy. This time the rebound is picked up and the Kings come to center 3-on-2. Gretzky leads the play. Gretzky gives it left side to Duchesne. He shoots and it's wide. Rebound off the boards picked up by Makela. Into Gretzky. Gretzky center behind the net. Broken up there by Dale Hunter. Hunter for Washington. Puts it up on the boards and it comes down to center. Caps come to center ice here. Cicerelli. The Caps want a line change, so Cicerelli easily sends it into the Kings zone. And the Caps go for the line change as Robitaille picks it up and he lost it to Hunter. Hunter tried to center it. It hit a skate, came out to center. Kalle Johansson with a shot, but offside against Washington. 4-2 Capitals, 7:53 to go in the
53 left in the second period. The Kings' road trip will continue. Tomorrow night, the Kings and the red-hot New York Islanders. All of the action on Prime Ticket beginning at 7:30, 6 o'clock on the Kings Radio Network. The Islanders with Pat LaFontaine with 33 goals.
Now the puck all the way back behind the Caps net and touched by Hatcher, and we have an icing call against the Kings, so they'll move it back into the Kings zone. Yeah, that'll be a good matchup tomorrow night, Robitaille and LaFontaine, so we hope you'll be with us. But the Kings have some work yet to do here on the first day of the new year. They're down by 2 goals to the Washington Capitals, 4-2 with 7:42 to go in the second period.
Well, as far as offense is concerned for both clubs here in the second period, the Capitals kind of picking up where they left off. The Kings have been shut down a little bit. Scott Bjugstad, number 8, getting a regular shift for the Kings against Steve Kasper out up front. Bjugstad, a member of the '84 Olympic hockey team. He was red hot at New Haven. 12 goals in his last 8 games.
And the last 3, what do you have? A couple of hat tricks and a 2-goal game. Kings had a little trouble finding the puck in their own zone. Now they move it to center, and Todd Ellick pokes it down, or Bjugstad pokes it down the right side, in deep in the Capital zone. Now behind the net, here's Calle Johansson, starting back out to center. Poke kept away by a diving Bernie Nichols of the Kings, and the puck comes deep in the Capital zone, and Johansson has to go back and get it. His pass around the board to the right side to Hatcher, now to Dale Hunter. Hunter stopped by McSorley. Kings with it. Here is Nichols. Can't bring it across the line. Puck is taken by Jet Courtnall for Washington. Here's Courtnall into the Kings zone. Left side shoots wide. Got a lot on it, but shot it wide. Kings try to clear it, and they do. Out to center ice and all the way down in the Capital zone. Robitaille coming into the goaltender. Beaupre goes behind the net to give it to Calle Johansson. He gives it up ahead now to Hatcher. 4-2. Kings are down by 2. Here's Hatcher across the line. Trying to roll it in the middle now to Courtnall. He shoots for the save by Rudy. Rebound bounced over the stick of Dale Hunter. Kings chase it back. On the left side, here's Robitaille. Capital zone. Robitaille pulls up, feeds it to Nichols. Nichols in front. Stop, shoot, score! He had all day. He thought about giving it to Gretzky on the right side, stopped, and then made up his mind, and then put it high in the net, and the Kings are right back in the game, trailing 4-3.
Yeah, the Capitals had some people back, but I don't know what Hatcher was doing, playing for the pass, and Beaupre was scrambling all over the place, and Bernie, always poised around the net, just waited for Beaupre to go down and put it upstairs for his 27th goal. That's a big goal for the Kings. Gets them to within 1. So, falling behind 4-1, the Kings have battled back to make it a 4-3 game. The goal at 13:24, Robitaille and Duchesne assisting on the Nichols goal as Hatcher was kind of confused as to what to do there.
Well, Nichols wasn't. As we said, he just drove it high in the net, and the Kings a goal down now at 4-3. They've taken some of that momentum away from the Caps. Now Gretzky to Allison, right wing. His shot and a glove save by Beaupre. And he hangs on as Bob Kudelski came in looking for the rebound. 6:16 to go here in the second period with the Kings down 4-3.
Don Beaupre, 10 years in the NHL. Getting kind of a second career, second life here with Washington. The Minnesota North Stars, whom he played for a number of seasons, let him go, and he was in the minor leagues. And then Fade Haddon last year. The Capitals goaltenders had some injuries. He was recalled, played well. Then they lost a couple of goaltenders over the summer. Really, he is it as far as a veteran goaltender in the whole organization. Backup, excuse me, Bob. Their backup is Bob Mason.
Beaupre started in the NHL All-Star game, Nick, at the age of 19 years old. Playing then for Minnesota. Face-off will be to his left in the Capital zone. Kings are down by a goal at 4-3. They were down 4-1. Gretzky in the corner, sends it behind the net. Steve Leach for the Capitals, loses it. Kudelski digs it out, gives it to Gretzky. Gretzky checked along the boards. Allison in, and a penalty coming up. A penalty here, and Gretzky's going to go back to the penalty box.
Roughing Sheehy. We'll be back. This is the Los Angeles Kings Hockey Network. Ski roughing at 13:55 as he continues his one-on-one battle with Neil Sheehy. The puck was down low in the corner to the right of Don Beaupre. Gretzky sitting it out for the second time here today. 15 Sheehy bumping Gretzky. Gretzky spins off the check and with a left hand roughs up Sheehy. And right there, the referees. The Caps on the power play for the first time today. They're up 4-3.
Sheehy and Gretzky went at one another early in the game today and went to the penalty box, but this time it is Gretzky by himself in there, so the Caps with a chance to get some momentum back here. Kings with it, though, their own blue line. Larry Robinson, he gets it over to Marty McSorley. McSorley to Kruzhelnyski. Kruzhelnyski back in the Kings zone. King's strategy here is you can't score if you don't have the puck, so they are hanging on to it. Here is Allison killing the penalty for the Kings to Kruzhelnyski. He tips it to the Capital line, and finally Washington with it. They've got the man advantage. Johansson to Ridley. Ridley on the right side. He gets hip checked over there by Robinson. The puck comes back behind the King net. Now is loose there. Taken by Ciccarelli. Ciccarelli's pass off in the corner now to Joyce. Here is to Ridley. Ridley up the middle to Hatcher. Hatcher still with it. Back over to Ridley on the right side. Ridley checked by Robinson, and now Allison in to help out. He gets it to McSorley. McSorley checking the right wing corner and double team. Puck comes up in the air, bounces down. McSorley goes for it again. He gets it to Robinson to Kruzhelnyski, and Kruzhelnyski will bring it to center for the Kings. Here's Kruzhelnyski still with it into the Capital zone. Oh, he had Nichols over the left side, and Purdy was all alone for a moment. Now Nichols with it, right wing Capital zone. Nichols still with it. Nichols to Kruzhelnyski. Stop, shoots, and hit the goal post. Do you believe that? The Kings with a shorthander there would have tied the game, but Kruzhelnyski hit the right goal post. 4:30 to go, second period. Across the King line, Hatcher down the middle, poked away. And now held in by Hunter. Hunter in the slot. Hunter still with it. His pass stolen. Hunter pokes it in again off Larry Robinson's stick. Now Hunter on the left wing side. Hunter still with it. 10 seconds left to go in the power play for the Capitals. Out to Hatcher at the right point. He shoots. Save, Rudy. Rebound up the middle. Kings with it. They move it quickly ahead, and it hucks over the stick of Nichols of the red line. Kings are back at full strength, and Don Beaupre, the goaltender, covers it up, and Hatcher pushes Bernie Nichols now.
Yeah, Nichols tried to pry it free as Beaupre gloved it, but there was no whistle. Gretzky's penalty is over with. The Capitals only had one shot.
4-2 Washington, and we'll pause right now for station identification. This is the Los Angeles Kings Hockey Network. In favor of Washington, and the Kings almost tied it short-handed, but Kruzhelnyski hit the right post.
Well, Kruzhelnyski just kind of cruised into the zone, took the pass from Nichols, and he beat Beaupre on the short side, the glove side, but at the inside of the post, and it came ringing off onto the far boards. Kruzhelnyski could have tied it right there with a short-handed bid.
You could almost see the sigh of relief by Beaupre, even though he's got that mask on. We have 4:02 to go here in the second period. Bob Miller along with Nick Nixon and Randy Hahn. Happy New Year, everybody. We're glad that you've joined us today. Capitals with a one-goal lead at 4-3 in the face-off in the Washington zone. Now here in the corner is Rouse. His pass stolen away by Laidlaw. Laidlaw sends it behind the Washington net, but Holder over to get it. Holder gives it up to Jeff Courtnall on the left wing. Here's Courtnall to center. He throws it back over on the right side. Now Dale Hunter. Hunter tried to feed it to Courtnall in deep, but Gretzky picks him up. Puck is tipped into the corner. Courtnall with it again. Courtnall's pass tipped by Gretzky. Kings go back to center. But a pass is taken on the right wing by Makela. Gretzky behind him. Makela pulling it in. Poked away. And Gretzky with it. Gretzky's pass is held in by Nichols. Now to Makela. Kings having trouble controlling it. Makela got knocked down, but he got up now and then lost it to Holder. Here's Holder. His pass almost intercepted by Nichols, but it is cleared by Rouse out to center. Kings with it again, but a pass at center ice is broken up by Dale Hunter for Washington. Hunter is cut off by Gretzky. Hunter back in his own zone, moves it on to center ice, taken away by Duchesne. Duchesne gives it to Crowder at center ice. Now it's taken away by John Bruce of Washington. He sends it deep in the Kings zone. 3 minutes to go here in the second period. Here come the Kings. Gretzky down the right side. He gives it back to the blue line to Nichols, but it's taken away by Johansson. They head to Steve Leach. Leach in the slot. Shoots, and a save by Kelly Rudy right in the midsection. And he hangs on for the faceoff. With 2:47 to go in the second period, Kings down by a goal at 4-3.
Well, back and forth, both teams go looking for scoring chances. Nichols just missed that little drop pass from Wayne Gretzky at the other end, and then the Capitals turned it up ice, and Leach cut into the slot and let a wrist shot go that Rudy stayed right with. Kelly Rudy, lifetime against the Washington Capitals. 9 wins, 12 losses, and 2 ties. Most of those decisions, actually all of them, when he was with the New York Islanders, the Patrick Division rivals of the Capitals.
Wayne Gretzky without a point in the game yet today, back over on the bench against Washington in 26 games, 19 goals, 38 assists, 57 points for Wayne Gretzky in his career against the Capitals, but so far they've shut him down today. Now off the draw in the Kings zone. The puck comes over to John Tonelli. He tried to chip it ahead. He did to Crowder. Crowder's pass at center is taken away, and now the pass by Sheehy stolen by the Kings. Here's Ryan Benning at center. Cut off, and back to help out is Todd Ellick. Ellick for the Kings. He is checked and knocked down hard by Alan May along the right wing boards, and now the puck comes all the way back down into the Capital zone, and we're going to get an icing call against the Kings here. So with 2:20 to go here in this second period, they move the puck back into the Kings zone for the face-off to the left of Kelly Hrudey. Ryan Murray, coach of the year in the NHL, 83-84, and 9th year with the Capitals. He is the dean of active NHL coaches. Now off the draw in the Kings zone. Loose puck in the faceoff circle. Kings dig it out, but they can't clear it. Holder holds it in, but now his pass taken away. And Duchesne gets it up to Robitaille. Now back to Gretzky. Now to Robitaille. Left side. Can't get the shot. Gets it in front of Nichols. He waits. He shoots. It's tipped wide by Beaupre. Gretzky with it to Robitaille. Robitaille checked by Holder. Puck is in the right corner of the Capital zone. Again, Nichols had a lot of time in front. Kings are down 4-3. Here's Pivonka for Washington. Across the King line. Left point. His shot save made. And Hrudey with a rebound. He clears it around the right side, but Hatcher holds it in. Taken away by Robitaille. Robitaille for the Kings up ahead to Nichols. Here's Nichols to Gretzky. Gretzky breaking in with room. He fakes a shot. Now moves in deep. Goes behind the net. Gives it now to Duchesne. And a save by Hatcher. Duchesne to Nichols. His pass in front. Broken up. And back come the Capitals. The Kings with a great chance on a 2-on-1. Gretzky had a lot of room. Elected not to shoot. Went in behind the net. And then the Kings never got a real good chance as they had each other for 20. And now Leach with a shot and a save by Hrudey. As Leach for the Capitals on the right wing had a chance. 1:14 left to go here in the second period. Kings are still down 4-3. Puck comes over to Gretzky, but is tipped away. And now Robitaille takes it away from the Cap. Cicerelli at center. And now Gretzky's pass comes back across the blue line into the Washington zone. 58 seconds up to go in the second period. Capitals with it and a 1-goal lead. 4-3. Kelly Miller sends it into the Kings zone. Ryan Benning over to get it. He gets it to Todd Ellick, but we have a penalty coming up against the Kings here. Interference is the call. Keith Crowder is going to go to the penalty box. The Capitals 19th in the NHL, 15.9. Kings penalty killing is 16th, 75.7. So the Capitals power play goes along with the problems they usually have offensively anyway. They are not one of the better offensive teams, but they've scored 4 times here today against the Kings. Kings drive it all the way down in the Capital zone. We're down to 40 seconds left to go in the second period. Calle Johansson chased in. Now, last time the Kings were shorthanded is when Kruzewski almost tied the game. Here is Ridley across the line into the Kings zone for Washington. He sends it into Kelly Miller. Miller checked behind the net. Puck comes around to Holder. Holder out toward the left point. He slides it over to Calle Johansson. Johansson at the right point still has it. He feeds it down the right side now, and a shot is wide by Ridley. And the rebound off the boards all the way back out to center. Comes all the way back to the Capital line. 10 seconds up to go in the second period. Holder is in deep, and he gets it up ahead to Ridley. 5 seconds to go in the period. Ridley to Johansson. 3 seconds to go. Johansson with a shot from outside the blue line. The puck is tipped up out of play, and that is the end of the second period here at the Cap Center. So the Kings are back in it as Kelly Hrudey and Wayne Gretzky and the rest of the Kings leave the ice. In the second period, Nick Kypreos for Washington got his 5th of the year from Alan May and Kevin Hatcher at 4:23. 2 minutes later, Bob Joyce with his 5th of the year from Michael Pivonka and Neil Sheehy at 6:23. Then Dino Cicerelli with his 2nd of the night and 19th of the year from Mike Ridley at 8:41. It was 4-1 Washington then. Then the Kings came back. Larry Robinson his 5th from Bjugstad and Robitaille at 9:33, and then Nichols is 27th from Robitaille and Duchesne at 13:24, and that was the scoring.
The Capitals, the Kings fighting back from a 4-1 deficit to make it a game. They trail by a score of 4-3 after 2 periods. Through 2 periods, the Kings have been outshot 31-26. Some wide open play at times. The scoring chances are even at 10 apiece. The face-offs, the Kings have won 20, the Capitals 13. And on the power play, both clubs are 0 for 1. The Capitals will start the third period with the man advantage. Well, just a couple of days left to get in on the 10-game mini plan for the second half of the season for home games at the Great Western Forum. And if you'd like information, you can. Kelly Hrudey will return to where he spent his first 5 NHL seasons. Hrudey opposed by Don Beaupre today. Here in goal, Beaupre in his first full season for the Washington Capitals. Keith Crowder lacing up the skates in the penalty box for the Kings. He's still got 1:12 left on his interference penalty. So Tom Webster and the Kings fighting back after falling behind 4-1. The goal by Robinson midway through made it 4-2. Nichols then at 13:24, making it 4-3. So the Kings again showing character in that they've come back and that they've done so with some new faces in the lineup. Again, out of the lineup today, Taylor, Waters, Lindholm, and Beck all injured, and Casper has the flu. Brian Murray in his 9th season as head coach of the Washington Capitals, seeing his club lose that 3-goal lead, but they're up by 1, leading after 2 periods, and they've never lost in this situation. 15-0-3 in 18 games this year when they've led after 2 periods.
And the Caps start the third period, moving from our left to our right. On the right wing, here's Ridley. It hops off his stick in the King zone. Ridley along the right wing boards, out to the right point to Hatcher. He slides it out across the blue line, trying to get it over to Calle Johansson. Johansson back to get it. Power play for the Caps across the line. Kelly Miller. Miller on the left side of the King zone. Checked from behind. Pucked away by McSorley. Can't clear it. Put it right in the skates of Hatcher. Hatcher to Johansson. Now to Kelly Miller. His pass in deep and back again. Left side of Johansson. Shooting. Knocked down in front. And again Hatcher holds it in. As the pass comes in front to Cicerelli for the hat trick, and it's deflected up over the net. Cicerelli left side still with it. Kings on a couple of occasions have been inches from clearing it, and then Hatcher started to play, and he has it again at the right point. Hatcher sends it down and deep in the King zone. With 13 seconds left to go on the power play, the Kings take it away. Krushelnyski to Gretzky. Here's Gretzky to center with McSorley. Gretzky across the line, still with it. Gretzky sends it down to McSorley on the left side. McSorley on the board, back to Gretzky. In front now, backhander, score! Bob Kudelski from Wayne Gretzky and Marty McSorley, and the Kings have tied the game at 4-4.
Well, the Kings not only kill off the penalty, which Washington had a power play to start the period, but they get the goal as they come right back down the ice. McSorley to Gretzky, and sneaking in behind everybody, Kudelski. A nice little move on the backhand, beating Beaupre. The goal at 1:14, Bob Kudelski scoring his first goal, and this is second game back after missing a month with that broken knuckle. So Bob Kudelski with his 11th of the season, and Gretzky will pick up his first assist, first point of the afternoon.
So the Kings were down at one time 4-1 and have battled all the way back to tie it now. We are early in the third period. Puck is back behind the King net, and a battle for it there as Kudelski tries to dig it out, and he comes out with it out of the tangle. He gives it to Robitaille. Robitaille up the center ice to Bernie Nichols. Nichols pass, tipped away at center, and the Capitals come back now. Across the line, Bob Joyce to the left side. Shot from there is over the net. Pivonka got a hard shot underway, and it went off the boards and out to the right point. Caps hold it in again. Bob Joyce into the right corner to Pivonka. Up the middle, but intercepted by Kudelski. Kudelski for the Kings. Backhands it to center. Here is a 2-line pass against the Kings. Robitaille trying to get it and come in 2-on-2. 4-4 the score here in the third period with 18:05 to go, and we'll pause for station identification.
Game at 1:14. The third-year pro out of Yale University with his 11th from Gretzky and McSorley at 1:14. So turnabout is fair play. The Kings beaten on the first shot against them at home against Philadelphia in the first and second periods the other night. Well, they've scored on their first shots in 2 periods here today. First period goal by Alec, third period goal by Kudelski.
Now the puck comes back to the King blue line. Both teams are at full strength. Puck is taken by Todd Ellick. Ellick over to John Tonelli. Tonelli sends it into the Capital zone. Gets it back again on the left wing side. Tonelli down in deep. He's battling with Wickenheiser. And the puck still loose in the corner now. Crowder trying to get his stick down so he can play it. He's tied up by Sheehy. Crowder still trying to get his stick loose. Sheehy's got him tied up. Puck comes over to Todd Ellick. Ellick in front of Tonelli, and it's tipped away by Beaupre. Now a whistle.
Yeah, Crowder's going to go for cross-checking. He was chasing the puck, then he hit one of the Capitals from behind, and the Caps have the power play. We're tied at 4. This is the second period penalty carried over. Now he's back in for cross-checking. Right side of the street in the simulcast, right there on defenseman Holder. Cross-checking is, looked like he got Holder more on the side than he did on the back, but right in front of the referee. Capitals with their third power play. Their power play really has not been affected, as Bob mentioned, all year long.
Now Wayne Gretzky for the Kings sends it back to the King line to Laidlaw.
They traded Larry Murphy, who was one of the top point men in the league.
So the Kings.
Yeah. And the Capitals really haven't found a guy to replace him as a quarterback from the blue line.
Here's Hatcher across the line, moves to the left side in the Kings zone, lost it to Gretzky, and now poked out by Duchesne as Hunter looked like he was going to hold it in, but Duchesne checked it back out to center. We've played 3 minutes of the third period. The game is tied at 4. Caps with it on the man advantage. Here's Bob Joyce down the right side. Joyce gets checked there. He gets it in deep with a pass behind the net by Courtnall, taken away, and now Gretzky with a nice move comes to center. Here's Gretzky to the Capital line, across the line, comes back out to center ice as he couldn't make a play. Goes all the way back into the King zone. Pulls up again. Gets away from Hunter. Gretzky still with it. Skating around with a puck. Filling time on the penalty. Gretzky to center. The crowd screaming for somebody to hit him.
I think they're enjoying it. I'll be honest with you. I think they're enjoying the talented Gretzky do his thing out there, killing the penalty.
And he backhands it all the way down in the Washington zone. Remember when we used to holler that when he was playing for Edmonton? Somebody hit him.
You can't do it.
Puck comes out to center ice now and is taken by Bob Kudelski. 40 seconds to go in this King penalty. Puck is back in the King zone, and McSorley sends it all the way down into the Washington zone.
Obviously, another problem for the Capitals in their power play is possession.
Now the puck taken by Ridley. Ridley to center with 25 seconds to go on the power play. Ridley across the line, into the slot. To Rouse, he shoots. It's blocked on the way in. Picked up by Pivanka. Pivanka for Washington. Sends it around to Dino Ciccarelli. He's got 2 today. He's along the right wing boards. He gets it in now behind the net to Pivanka. Pivanka back on the right side to Ridley. Ridley, he's got Ciccarelli over there. Tried to get it to him. It was deflected. Now Larry Robinson and Ciccarelli battle. Time running out in the penalty, and the Kings are going to be back at full strength right now as Crowder comes out of the penalty box.
I think the Kings had the puck for about a minute 20 of that 2-minute Washington power play, and the Caps never did get a shot.
4-4 the score, third period, 15-15 to go in the period. Puck comes down the Capital zone. We'll have an icing call here against the Kings. So it's all tied up at 4, and we'll be right back.
As he ragged the puck for about 20 consecutive seconds, and finally the Kings killed it off. Kings killed off 2 penalties here in the third period, and in between got the tying goal, so give the penalty killers credit.
Now the face-off in the Kings zone. Here's Laidlaw with it for the Kings. He gets it over to Steve Duchesne. Kings moving from our right to our left here in the third period with the game tied. Kings drive it down in the Washington zone. Robitaille trying to get there, but Joyce takes him out of the play. Now Nichols poked at it. Caps come back. 2-on-2 to center. It's Pivanka with Leach. He gives it to Leach on the right side, and a hip check there, and Leach trying to get around Laidlaw. Can't do it. Laidlaw, nice play to take him out of the play. Here's Scott Bukestad for the Kings. Bukestad gives it to Steve Duchesne. Duchesne to the right side. Robitaille over to Nichols. Left side. Nichols shoots, and a save by Beaupre.
May have hit the crossbar. I don't know. Beaupre got the glove up. But anyway, a good chance for Bernie Nichols. We're tied at 4. This is the Los Angeles Kings Hockey Network. And an assist already today. Almost gave the Kings the lead for the second time. He took the feed from Robitaille, moved in, pulled the trigger, and I think he hit the crossbar, and it deflected over the glass and into the crowd.
Now play underway again as the Capitals' Kelly Miller clears it out to center. So the Kings with a couple of posts in this game and still have come from a 4-1 deficit to tie it at 4. Here's Gretzky. Gretzky for the Kings at center with a soft pass to Krushelnyski on the left side. Krushelnyski double teamed in deep. It's tipped away from him, but Benning at the left point holds it in. Benning into Krushelnyski. Krushelnyski gives it to Gretzky behind the net. Walks in front, shoots, and Beaupre with a save. And the rebound is batted away and out to center ice to Ciccarelli. Here's Ciccarelli, overskated, now gets it on the right side to Kelly Miller. Miller pulls up, sends it down in deep to Ridley. Ridley put it behind the net to Ciccarelli. He's checked there, and Larry Robinson with it. Here's Robinson, his pass up on the left side. So Gretzky came out from behind the net, but a sprawling save was made by Beaupre.
He gets that puck, and just like a flash, he's out in front with a scoring chance.
Out center ice, Gretzky's pass over to John Tonelli. Down the left side, Crowder, he gets knocked down along the boards, gets up, tried to center it, but it's broken up, and here comes Dale Hunter to center. Hunter for the Caps into the Kings zone. Hunter goes to the left side. Hunter to Courtnall, shoots, and a save off the glove of Kelly Rudy. I think he just had his glove there, Nick, and wasn't sure where it was, but it hit him. Now it gets back to the right side to John Tonelli. Tonelli up the middle to Crowder, but it's broken up by Alan May. May for the Capitals in his own zone, gives it to Dale Hunter. Hunter's pass, held in right side, McSorley shooting, save, rebound, Gretzky scores! And the Kings lead 5-4. Wayne Gretzky with a rebound right in front of Don Beaupre, and the Kings have fought from a 4-1 deficit to lead 5-4.
Gretzky with his 20th to give the Kings the lead. Hunter went to chip it out, but no one was along the boards, and McSorley kept it in. The shot, the save, and the rebound. Nobody took Gretzky out, and Gretzky has given the Kings a 5-4 lead. Another look on the simulcast, the rebound, and Gretzky just whips it right in quickly. Goal number 20. McSorley with the assist along with Tonelli, but Hunter was pressured down deep and didn't have an outlet. He tried to clear it. Two Kings were along the boards to keep it in.
Now the Capitals back in their own zone. They had a 4-1 lead, and it looked as if that might be it. They might just shut the door, but no way. The Kings have battled back, and now the Kings lead at 5-4. Puck is sent behind the King net to Bob Joyce, tipped away from him to Sheehy. His shot knocked down by the pad of Kelly Rudy. Kings within their own zone. Nichols moves it up to center ice. Sheehy takes it away, sends it back in, and Kelly Rudy knocks it down for Laidlaw.
Capitals not getting the type of pressure they had earlier in the game, and as Kruzhelnyski pointed out, the forwards are making themselves available for outlets, and that's why the Capitals can't get that sustained pressure now.
Now Bob Joyce for Washington. He drives it into the Kings zone. Rebound off the boards to Benning. Benning pulls it into the corner. Now has a man, Robitaille, high in the slot. He gets it to him, and here's Robitaille to center. He hasn't scored a goal yet. He's got 1 in 8 straight. He drops it to the blue line, but Ciccarelli took it away. Now ahead to Kelly Miller. Miller across the line with Ciccarelli. Miller cutting in, poke checked away by Benning on a nice play. Benning's pass along the boards is fought for in the Kings zone. It comes loose. Robinson now in front. Ciccarelli saved by Rudy, and he covers up right in the crease. That puck bounced to Ciccarelli standing behind the play, and he almost got the hat trick.
Puck has been bouncing away from Ciccarelli on 3 or 4 occasions right in front in his bid for the hat trick. He has been by far the most dangerous Capital forward here today. They just chip it. Miller in front to Ciccarelli, who was all alone. He turned it in one motion, let the backhander go, but Rudy made the save, and then a pileup as all 3 forwards and the Kings defense tried to dive in front and help out the goaltender. Little chip pass by Miller. Ciccarelli turning, the save is made, and Rudy really sprawled out in a vulnerable position there, but somehow he maintained control of the puck long enough to stop play. You know, Ciccarelli, 2-time 50-goal scorer, 3-time NHL All-Star.
Now the right point. Here's Sheehy with a drive. It's deflected in front, and Wayne Gretzky with it for the Kings. Gretzky back behind the King net, and he waits there with 11:45 to go in the third. Kings are up 5-4. Here's Wayne Gretzky, his pass out to center ice, and Neil Sheehy has it to the red line. Sheehy sends it back into the King zone, and here's Laidlaw chasing it down. Laidlaw checked by Kelly Miller. Ciccarelli battles for the puck. He's checked by Duchesne to the left of the King net. Ciccarelli still with it. Ciccarelli looking for Sheehy, and deep can't get it to him, and now the puck taken away by Mike Allison. Allison double-teamed and lost it behind the net to Ridley. Ridley's pass intercepted by Gretzky. He moves it quickly to the blue line. Kings have a 3-on-2. Here's Gretzky, Kruzhelnyski, and Allison. Gretzky across the line. Gretzky to Kruzhelnyski, but it's broken up by Neil Sheehy. Back to center to Ciccarelli. 2-on-2. Ciccarelli with Kelly Miller. Tried to get it to Miller, and Duchesne got back to break it up. He gets it to Gretzky. Here's Gretzky to center. He gets it to Brian Benning. Benning on the left side into the Capital zone. Back to Gretzky along the left wing board. Gretzky into Benning behind the net. Benning around in front. Can't get a shot. Broken up by Holder. Now Holder behind his own net. He gets it up on the right side to Ciccarelli. Ciccarelli. He moves it to Hunter. Left side. He shoots. Save Kelly Rudy, but an offside called against the Capitals. But Hunter got that shot, but it was offside. 5-4 Kings. This is the Los Angeles Kings Hockey Network.
Back from a 4-1 deficit to take a 5-4 lead. The go-ahead goal at 6:49. Gretzky's 20th from McSorley and Tonelli. Ellick, Robinson, Nichols, Kudelski, and Gretzky the scorers today.
Now the Capitals with a Calle Johansson, defenseman down the right side, turns, centers it, broken up by the Kings, and Larry Robinson starts it back. Robinson to Todd Ellick. Ellick into the Capital zone. Ellick sends it off the left wing boards, but it's going to be intercepted there by Wickenheiser. His pass is knocked away along the boards, and one of the Kings down along the boards trying to get up and get it. Puck comes to Larry Robinson, the blue line, right down the middle. Robinson got knocked down, and a penalty to Washington. Robinson was walking right down the slot, and he got tripped. And the Kings, with a 5-4 lead, will go on the power play. This is the Los Angeles Kings Hockey Network.
Wickenheiser, veteran center, offered tripping Larry Robinson at 9:45. Robinson moving to his right laterally inside the blue line, then bolted for the slot. Diving and taking out the left skate, upending Robinson, was Wickenheiser. Robinson never got the shot, and they called the penalty. Kings only have had one power play today. They're 0 for 1. The Caps are 0 for 3.
Faceoff is in the Washington zone to the right of Beaupre. John Tonelli will take the draw. Kings have Tonelli with Gretzky, Benning, Duchesne, and Nichols. And here's a pass along the left wing boards to John Tonelli. Now to Bernie Nichols in the Capital zone. Now to Tonelli. Tonelli put it in deep. Beaupre broke it up. He sends it back along the boards. It comes out to Brian Benning. Benning at the left point. His pass to Duchesne, and Duchesne just does hold it in. Nice play. Now Gretzky to Tonelli. Tonelli on the right side. Capital zone. He gives it to Gretzky. Gretzky along the right wing boards. Kings with a man advantage and a 1-goal lead. Into Tonelli. In front. Can't get a shot. Now he does get a save. Rebound to the blue line. Held in nicely again by Duchesne. Duchesne gets it over to Nichols. Nichols on the left side. Into Gretzky. Gretzky behind the net. Back to Nichols. Broken up by Ridley, and he clears it to center. 9.5 minutes left to go in the third period. Kings up 5-4. Here's Brian Benning trying to give it to Nichols. It's out of his reach. Here's Hatcher for Washington. Hatcher in deep and on the backhand. Clears it out to center. Kings cover up there as Luc Robitaille jumps on the ice. His pass taken away. Kavanka for Washington. Left wing. Shoots, and it's wide to the right. Puck comes out to Benning at center. Benning to Robitaille. Here's Robitaille down the left side. Leads the Kings in power play goals with 12. He gives it to Nichols. Nichols along the left wing board. Nichols still with it to the blue line to Benning, and he didn't get it. And it comes all the way back in the Kings zone. 45 seconds left to go in the King power play. Pass up ahead to Nichols. Nichols at the red line. He gives it to Gretzky. Gretzky's pass along the line to Robitaille. Robitaille on the right side. Drives it down in deep. Bill Holder and Bernie Nichols go for it. Puck comes around the left side. Gretzky holds it in. Gretzky on the power play. 30 seconds left for the man advantage. Up the middle. Robinson shooting just wide. Gretzky throws it back to the right point, but out to center ice. Robinson back to get it. He gives it to Benning. Benning with time running out on the power play. Comes across the line. 15 seconds to go with a man advantage. Benning gets stopped and the Caps clear it again back into the Kings zone.
On that setup, Gretzky to Robinson. Nichols almost deflected it as he snuck in behind the goaltender, who come out to shut down the handle on a Robinson shot.
Now the puck at center rolls away from John Druce, and the Capitals are back at full strength. Still trailing by a goal. It's the Kings 5, the Capitals 4. 8:10 to go, third period. Laidlaw in the Kings zone. He moves it on the right side to Crowder. Crowder gets stopped coming out. Caps hold it in. And a pass to Druce on the right side is broken up. And Crowder clears it to Gretzky at center. Jumping in front of him is Hatcher. Gretzky right behind him. Chases him back behind the Capital net. Hatcher circles the net. Comes up the left side. Gets stopped. Crowder with it. Crowder into Gretzky. Gretzky right wing board. Gretzky centering pass. Broken up. Capitals with it. Back to center ice on the right wing is John Druce. Druce's pass tipped into the Kings zone by Courtnall. The goaltender Kelly Rudy cleared it off the stick of Hunter. Just did get it to center. Hunter with it now at center ice. Hunter gets checked by Todd Ellick, and Ellick with it for the Kings. Ellick back in the Kings zone. Got knocked down, but McSorley covers up. Gets it to Laidlaw. Now to Tonelli. Tonelli's pass over to Ellick. Here's Ellick at center ice, and he fires it into the Capitals zone with 7:23 to go. Third period. Kings 5, Capitals 4. Capitals move back to center ice on the right wing. John Druce. Druce across the line with Hunter. Druce pulls it in around Benning. Sends it wide to the net to the left side. It went right through the crease. Puck taken now by John Tonelli. Here's Tonelli to center. Down the right wing into the Capitals zone. Tonelli checked there. Caps take it away. Bob Rouse with it. We're down to 7 minutes to go in the third. Kings up by a goal. Midway through the game, they trailed 4-1. And they now lead 5-4. Puck comes all the way down the King zone and chased in by Benning. Benning checked by Leach, but Benning gets it to Robinson behind the King net. Robinson around the right side. His pass taken away. In front, Leach shoots. It's blocked. Leach again. Right side. Pass in front. There's just tipped away by Kelly Rudy as Bob Joyce was set up in front. And that would have tied it. The Caps had 2 men in deep, and Joyce tipped it, and Kelly Rudy knocked it away. Pucked it back into the Washington zone. Robinson's pass was intercepted, and the Caps had a great chance then to tie it up. Now at center ice. Puck slides to the King line and is picked up by Tom Laidlaw. He gets it over to Steve Duchesne. Duchesne up the center, but out of the reach of Gretzky on the left wing, and we're going to get an icing call against the Kings. Bob Rouse in to touch it. 6:11 to go in the third. Kings lead it 5-4.
Chance on the turnover by Robinson. Leach takes a shot. It's blocked, and Leach gets the puck again, and all alone in front was Ridley, and he just couldn't find the handle. And Robinson took down Joyce. I said Ridley, was Joyce, 27, not 17, so pretty good opportunity there for the Capitals. Mike Ridley now out on the ice with the Capitals top scorers again this year, 40-plus goals last year.
And on the draw, the puck slides through in front of Kelly Hrudey. He gives it to Wayne Gretzky. Gretzky's pass taken away by Kelly Miller in the King zone. He's checked hard by Duchesne. Cicerelli's behind the King net. He's got 2 goals today and had a chance for his third. He gets tied up and the net gets dislodged. We have 6 minutes exactly to go in the third period. The Kings lead at 5-4. This game is coming to you live from Landover, Maryland. Radio Network, including KJMB in Blythe, California. Happy New Year, everybody, as the Kings have 6 minutes left against the Capitals here in the third period. The Kings are up by a goal, and the Kings win the faceoff. Out the center with a 3-on-2. Here's Gretzky with Allison and Krushelnyski. Allison with it, right side, trying to give it to Krushelnyski. Broken up by Kevin Hatcher of the Capitals. Hatcher along the boards. He gets it ahead now to Kelly Miller. Miller up the center, slides it to Ridley. Ridley across the line. Ridley down the right side, checked in the King zone along the right wing boards by Allison. Ridley holds it in though, gets it down in deep. Krushelnyski takes it away and is checked by Kelly Miller. Ridley and Miller still battle for it, and Ridley comes out with it to the right point to Hatcher. His pass goes to Ridley. Ridley left side to Holder. He shoots and a stick save by Hrudey. Rebound in front. Cicerelli fell down, got up, and he shot it wide. If he hadn't stumbled, he'd had a good chance. Here's Holder, left point. His shot deflected out the center by Krushelnyski.
Cicerelli's been dangerous every time he's been on the ice today.
The Caps have come so close to tying this up on those pucks that are just bouncing around, and those are the type that just somehow seem to bounce onto a stick and bounce in. But so far, Kings still have that 1-goal lead. A drive from the King blue line by Laidlaw is on target, and Don Beaupre breaks it up. 4:48 left to go here in the third period. Bob Miller with Nick Nixon and Randy Hahn, and we've had an entertaining game for you today. Kings are up 5-4. At center ice, here is Hatcher. Sends it down in the King zone. Todd Ellick in deep to the Kings with Larry Robinson. A battle behind the King net. Ellick rolls it out, and it's taken by Nick Sorley. He wraps it hard around the boards. Not out. Held in by Dale Hunter, but a hand pass call. Hand pass against the Capitals, and now Dale Hunter and Keith Crowder push at one another. Well, the Kings video is on the bench. Have come from behind to lead 5-4. Caps with it, King zone. Dale Hunter on the right side. Hunter's pass. Now it comes back to Courtnall. His pass in front, just out of the reach of Calle Johansson. And the Caps' Bob Rouse will hold it in. He gets it over to Hunter, but the Kings take it away. Nichols passing up to center ice now on the left side to Robitaille, and Luke sends it into the Washington zone. 4 minutes to go in the third period. Kings 5, Capitals 4. Puck is at the blue line and held in the Capital zone by Kudelski. Now Washington with it again. They move it up to center to Kypreos. Kypreos, who got cut earlier in the game. His pass is tipped away, and Benning clears it back to the Washington line. Now Bob Joyce had to let the pass go. It would have been a 2-line pass, and he let it go. It was on target. Stop made by Kelly Hrudey. Now Bernie Nichols ahead to Larry Robinson. Robinson to center. He gets double teamed. Capitals with it. Across the line. Pivonka left side. Pivonka in deep in front to Leach, and he shoveled it wide to the right. 3:27 to go in the third. Kings up 5-4. Puck in the right wing corner. Up the middle. Leach shoots. Save. Hrudey deflected it up and hit him right on the face mask and went up into the crowd, and Hrudey is down. Kelly Hrudey flat on his back in the crease as a hard shot by Steve Leach from the right wing hit him on the helmet and caromed into the crowd. Boy, and Leach got all of that too.
Did he ever? He just one-timed it, and plays like that, the goaltender just cannot react to that quickly to get himself lined up. You could hear it hit the throat guard or the face mask, but I think Kelly's going to be all right. Just kind of stunned. A one-time shot by Leach, and it catches Hrudey, and he went down like a sack. But he's up quicker than I thought he would be after seeing that shot.
Looks like he's in pretty good shape. Pete Demers, the King trainer's out talking to him, and Kelly's taking the helmet off. He's got that blue familiar headband on, and he's kind of recovering here. Boy, a wicked shot from the right side by Leach, and it hit the head of Kelly Hrudey and caromed up into the crowd.
I think it surprised Hrudey more than it hurt him. As we look back on the way Rudy's bounced back so quickly, backup goaltender is Mario Gosselin, who's played very well in relief as a, quote, stopper. 4 relief appearances. His average is 1.83. Kelly Hrudey, busy goaltender. Both goaltenders have been busy today. 32 saves this afternoon.
Nice round of applause from the 18,130 here at the Cap Center today as they applaud Kelly Hrudey staying in goal and putting his helmet back on. Sellout crowd here at the Cap Center, and they have seen the Capitals blow a 4-1 lead, and the Kings lead at 5-4 with 3:21 to go in the third. Don't forget our postgame show coming up right after the game. Nick will talk with the star of the game, and we'll have the highlights. We will not have scores of any other games. There are no other games today in the NHL. Face off in the King zone to the left of Kelly Hrudey. 3:21 to go in the third. And on the draw, Krushelnyski draws it into the corner of the King zone. Kelly Miller tried to get it for Washington. Laidlaw's there for the Kings. Kelly Miller with it again. Tipped away from him. Hatcher, his shot, deflected off Kelly Miller, and Gretzky clears it quickly to center. Slides into the Capital zone, and Hatcher back to get it. Hatcher gives it to Kelly Miller. Here's Miller at the Washington blue line. His pass taken away by Krushelnyski, but Hatcher covers up. His pass intercepted by the Kings. Tom Laidlaw. Laidlaw gets it over to Allison. 2:50 left to go, third period. Now Krushelnyski trying to get around Hatcher in the Washington zone. Couldn't do it. Hatcher clears it back to center, but Laidlaw covers up for the Kings. He gets it over to Steve Duchesne. Duchesne gets it to Mike Allison. Allison's pass to center ice, broken up by Hatcher. Hatcher's pass knocked down by Allison, but the capture again. In the middle, here's Ridley shooting, deflected wide. Picked up by Allison. Allison can't clear it. Nessie did. He got it by the left point by Holder. Chasing it down is Tonelli. Tonelli had it tipped away from him. All the Caps, almost got caught with too many men on the ice. Pavanka jumped down, then got back. Here's Joyce. His pass in deep, broken up by McSorley. He clears it to center to Todd Ellick. Here's Ellick down the left side with Tonelli. Ellick into the slot. Ellick drops it to Robinson. Back to Ellick. He shoots. He scores! His second of the night and his second in his NHL career. And the Kings lead 6-4 with 2:10 to go.
What a great give and go by the youngster Todd Ellick and the veteran Larry Robinson. Ellick playing a regular shift for really the first time in 8 games since he's been recalled. Drops it for Larry. Then Ellick heads for the open ice, gets the return feed, and Beaupre had no chance. Todd Ellick with the insurance goal. Nice move. He saw Robinson jumping up, gave him the drop pass, and Larry gave it right back to Ellick, and he finishes it off. The goal at 17:50. Second goal of the game and of his NHL career from Robinson.
That's his second of the afternoon. Second of the season.
So Todd Ellick opened the scoring, and he may just have ended the scoring here this afternoon as the Kings with a 2-goal lead now, and 2:05 left to go in the third period. Ellick for the Kings moves it up to center ice. It's slapped down into the Washington zone. John Tonelli trying to get to it behind the net. Tonelli and Bob Rouse battling. Now Keith Crowder is there. Puck is taken by Washington. 1:51 left to go. Third period. Capitals with it. Here's Dale Hunter to the King line. Hunter's pass batted out of midair by Laidlaw to John Tonelli. Tonelli gives it to Todd Ellick. Ellick sends it down into the Washington zone. Hunter dumped Tonelli over in front of the boards at center ice. Now Bob Rouse for Washington sends it in. Puck comes in deep to Marty McSorley behind the King net. He is double teamed and checked hard into the boards by Kypreos, but bouncing off the check is McSorley, but now the Caps hold it in. Here's Courtnall to the blue line. Now on the left side to Dale Hunter. Hunter with it. His pass stolen nicely by the Kings, Bernie Nichols. Nichols zigzagging up to center ice. Nichols at the red line sends it into the Washington zone. Kings have a 6-4 lead. Washington with it. Clear it out to center ice now. Taken away by Nichols. He slaps it off the body of Robitaille. Caps still with it. 1 minute to go. Third period. Here's Hatcher into the Kings zone. In front of Leach and a save by Kelly Hrudey. On the shot by Leach. Kings with it. Beaupre is still in. Here's a breakaway for Gretzky. He's all alone. Down the middle. In front. He shoots. He scores! Wayne Gretzky. And that'll do it. 49 seconds to go in the game. Gretzky with the breakaway goal, and the Kings lead 7-4. Gretzky's second of the game, 21st of the year. Kings with their 4th goal of the third period. Gretzky came across the blue line all alone, went to the backhand, and beat Beaupre on the glove side. Gretzky, who always seems to have trouble on the breakaways, no trouble with that one. At 19-11.
Gets his second of the afternoon, 21st of the season.
21st of the year.
Assist to Luc Robitaille at 19-11.
Robitaille with an assist. So the Kings now with their 6th unanswered goal. The Caps had a 4-1 lead midway through the game, and the Kings have scored 6 straight. and they lead it 7-4 as they get set to move to Long Island tomorrow night. Don't forget, you'll see it on Prime Ticket at 7:30. Hear it on KLAC Radio and the Kings Radio Network at 6 o'clock tomorrow. Kings and the Islanders. Puck is in the Washington zone and now rolled up the middle, and Caps come to center. 30 seconds to go in this game. Across the line, pass on the left side to Kelly Miller. Miller in deep. He's checked behind the net, taken away by Duchesne, but he gave it right back to Kelly Miller. A pass up the middle, and then a shot by Ciccarelli deflected. 15 seconds to go in the game. Here's Ridley in the corner of the King zone. He centered it. Laidlaw broke it up. Now Duchesne with it. Ahead to Gretzky. Here's Gretzky against Bob Rouse. One-on-one. Gretzky across the line. Fakes the shot. Brings it back to center. Kings don't need any more. It's over. A big come-from-behind win for Kelly Hrudey and the Los Angeles Kings here this afternoon to start the new year. And Wayne Gretzky with a couple of goals and an assist. And the Kings win it here in Landover, Maryland. Todd Ehrlich with 2 goals, the first and last of the game, his first 2 in his young NHL career, and a big smile on his face as he's congratulated by Luc Robitaille, who had scored in 8 straight, did not score a goal today, but the important thing is the Kings skate off the ice with the victory. So it is a happy new year so far for the win at 7-4. We'll be back. This is the Los Angeles Kings Hockey Network. Goals, 4 of those in the third period. Bob Kudelski got the third period started with his 11th of the year from Wayne Gretzky and Marty McSorley at 1:14. Then Wayne Gretzky with his 20th of the year, assisted by Marty McSorley and John Tonelli at 6:49. The Kings continued, and Todd Ehrlich got his second of the game and second of his NHL career from Larry Robinson, and that came at 17:50. And then Wayne Gretzky on the breakaway with his second of the day, 21st of the year from Luc Robitaille at 19:11. And that in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, 2 of the greatest stars in the NHL.